This proposal closed a $4,500 deal last month, and it took me about 5 minutes to make. I'm going to show you exactly how, not just the theory, but the actual workflow, how to run it, how to customize it with AI, how to turn it into a PDF and send it, the whole thing. Uh, there's this weird culture right now where everyone's trying to automate every single thing, like everything, fully replace themselves with AI, build these crazy pipelines that take longer to set up than just doing the work. That's ridiculous. Like AI is supposed to augment you, not replace you. You still do the work. You still have the conversation. You still close the deal. AI just makes the boring parts faster. And this proposal, that's one of the boring parts. Let me tell you about what used to happen. I'd get off a discovery call with a potential client, like a good call. They're interested, they want a proposal. Great. So I open up Google Docs or Canva, sometimes Notion, whatever, and I start from scratch, or I've got a template. I generally, what I used to do is I'd find an old template and I'd copy paste it. I'd change the names, fix the prices. I started using variables, reformatting stuff that broke when I deleted a section. And 2 hours later, I've got something that looks like fine. It's fine. But here's the thing: that 2 hours, that's not what closes the deal. The deal was already half closed on the call. The proposal is just paperwork, right? It's a formality. It's me documenting what we already talked about. So why was I spending 2 hours on a formality? So I stopped doing this. Now I spend 5 minutes, sometimes 10 if I'm being picky, and the proposal looks better than it did when I was spending 2 hours. So let me show you. This is what I said. 7 pages. It's clean, professional, it's print optimized, meaning when I say save as PDF, it actually looks good. Um, Here, let me show you guys here. If I do it as save to PDF, every single page, they make sense. Let me walk you through each page so you understand why it's structured this way. Page one, it's simple cover. Your client name, my name, date, valid for 30 days. Creates a little urgency without being pushy. And this line, your digital presence designed to work for you, not create more work. That's actually doing a lot. It's reminding them why they called me. They don't want a project. They just want something that runs itself. Page two is the problem. Uh, I talk about their problem, not what I do, what they need. Make it easy for people to choose you. So, see, this client, FL's Kitchen, they're a contractor in my region. They've got the reputation. They've been around since the 80s, and the work speaks for itself. What's missing is visibility. New customers can't find them. So, I'm not really selling a website, I'm selling the outcome, people finding them and reaching out. This page is personalized for every client. It shows that I listened on the call. Next is the deliverables. Page three is really about, okay, let me put it this way. Notice how it's organized, not by technical features, but by what it does for them. So, website, found online, lead capture, reviews. Nobody cares about responsive design or meta optimization. They care about being found and getting calls. So, that's the language I use. Then you've got page four, how it works. This is actually my favorite page. I'm showing them the experience of working with me after the site is live. The customer fills out a form, they get an email, they call them back. That's it. 3 steps, no dashboards to check, no systems to learn. And that's reassuring. It tells them that their life doesn't get more complicated, it gets simpler. Page five, we've got a dark background here. It's a visual break. It makes it feel like a new section. 6 weeks, about 3 hours of your time. I'm being specific because people want to know what they're signing up for. 3 hours total? That's nothing. That's reassuring. And I break it down each week so they can see the process. There's no mystery. Page six, the money page. 3 packages: foundation, growth, premium. Notice which one's highlighted. The middle one, the red border, the recommended badge. That's intentional. Most people pick the middle option. It feels safe, not the cheapest, not the most expensive. For this client, the middle is actually what I want them to pick and also what's best for them. I really put it explicit, my recommendation at the bottom. My recommendation is growth. I'm not making them guess. I'm telling them what I think they should do. And then page 7, it's the side by side comparison, right? Uh, I want them to understand what's the difference between them. And this kind of avoids a lot of back and forth and questions. And finally, the last page, it's dead simple: reply, schedule, launch. 3 steps, no friction, ready when you are. And it just ends with that. My name, my email feels personal, not corporate. And this has been an excellent proposal for me. Now, that's the template. Let me show you how I actually use it, because seeing a pretty PDF is one thing, actually making it work for you is another. By the way, if you want this template, you can absolutely go ahead and download it. I've made it publicly accessible. It's really easy to use. I use Claude Code in order to do it, and I do recommend you use Claude Code, but you can also use Gemini or anything. And this is where you see I use AI as an augmenter. I don't try to recreate the wheel every time. If I want to create a new version of this, I can actually talk with Claude in order for them to make a modification. For example, if I wanted to make a copy of this, I could simply start talking to Claude. Hey, Claude, I'd like to make another proposal for a new client. Could you make a copy of this current one, save it somewhere, and then start working with me to create a new one? What I'd like is to keep the same kind of wording. Let's do it for Acne Corp. Let's make it a bigger website this time. Uh, and also, let's change the color palette to be more in line with their brand, which is a bit more in the greens with the emerald greens and a bit more contrast. Let's keep everything the same as it is, but let's make this new proposal. Now, this is something I often do is I'm using my voice to talk to my computer instead of typing. As you just saw, the density of information and what I can get out is so much higher when I use this, when I use my voice, than when I'm trying to constantly type everything out. I know you might be in office, you can't really talk all the time, but this is an excellent way to do things. Now, if you've never used Claude Code before, it looks scarier than it is. Very much, this is the same thing as ChatGPT or Google Gemini or Claude.ai, but it's within an environment that's a bit more, let's say, secure. So here you've got my computer, and inside my computer, I've actually got this estimates folder. And you see here, my Claude agent is within this estimates folder. So it actually exists within a specific folder on my computer. And so it has a lot more capability. What's really cool about this as well is it has a lot more context. It understands where it exists, all the other elements, and it's such a good business partner. So now here I've actually got here, it's telling me it just made a backup because I asked it to make a copy. So it just made a backup of Laforge. And it also made an index here for the CSS because we're changing the colors. And it's now asking me a bit more information. So what type of business is Acne Corp? Uh, is it a tech software, professional services, retail, e-commerce? Let's say it's a professional services. Let's say that it's got more pages and it's got higher pricing, and we're going to go with this. This is something you'll notice with newer versions of Claude is it actually asks you a lot more question. It's a bit more proactive in the way of talking to you, and that's amazing. Um, Now you might wonder, how would you use this? So I'm going to make a pause here and show that when I'm going through this with Claude, it's asking me, hey, I've got some modifications to make, and I probably have a lot more to make. Uh, am I allowed to make some modifications during this session? In this context, I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to allow it to do edits. There's nothing that's really worrisome. It's not going to access anything sensitive in this context. So it can auto do its edits, and that makes me very happy. Now, what I was saying was, how would you approach this? This is probably not the way you're working right now. If you're used to Google Docs and folders and formats, like that's how we've been working for 20, 25 years, and it makes sense that we used to work that way. It's just that with AI now, AI lives in a code world, and it's so much easier for it to work in that environment. And this to me, this like IDE, so IDE being integrated development environment or a console command line interface, CLI in this context, is just like it's kind of like the middle ground where the AI and I get along and we can work in this environment together. Now, note, I've been a developer for a decade now, and I've gotten used to working with AI and because it's not too far away. But I used to be much more on the no code builder kind of things. Like I love Webflow. I used to create a lot of websites in that. And with AI, I've actually been able to increase my capabilities so much more because suddenly I had access to code a lot more. Now, what's happening right now is it's going through, and you can see this is a change log. And so what's happening is every time there's red, Claude is removing something or modifying something and then replacing it with green, which is an addition. And it's going through the entire website, and note that this quote is kind of like just a website. It's a very efficient way for Claude to operate, and it's able to go through and modify each part. Now you can see here while we were working, well, the quote got updated. It's now Acme Corp, and it's green, and it's like different colors, and it's got a bit more information, and it's got a bit more stuff. While we were talking, we were able to do a new quote, and it's still working here. It's almost done, and it's going to be able to finish the entire thing, and I'll be able to send it off within a few minutes. So sometimes I'm going to be doing. Now the AI actually finished up. So Claude went through and it made me a summary here, and it said before, after, red, green, etc. One of the things I usually do is once Claude is done, I go ahead and review it. It's so useful and so easy. It took about 5 minutes, but now that it's done, I will tweak things, right? I'm going to go through, I'm going to look at things and say, and especially this why this matters section, I'm going to modify it slightly, make sure that it's exactly the wording I want, and just check over the work. Uh, Once in this context, everything looks pretty good. I'm doing this as a case study. We see that the green was properly implemented everywhere. The pricing was updated. And at this point, what I like to do is simply extract it and save it as a PDF. So I come here, I go ahead, I save it, and I create myself a new PDF. I can put it within uh, the folder for estimates here and save it. And then within my estimates folder right here, I have the actual, oh, I see that it hasn't been renamed, but that's fine. I have the PDF ready to send via email to the client. Here's generally speaking, when I do send the email, it's I attach the PDF and I say, hey, here's the proposal we talked about. Let me know if you have any questions. That's it. No portal, no e-signature tools, no tracking pixels. It's I just send a PDF in an email like a normal person. Um, so the whole thing from getting off the call to sending the proposal, it's about 10 minutes, maybe 15 if I'm being really thorough. Um, there's a bonus option here. You don't have to do this. Um, But if you want to get fancy, you can deploy this to Vercel and have it live on the internet. Vercel is a hosting platform that properly connects to your GitHub. And so you can actually go ahead. I don't even know if I'm signed in to anything right now, but Vercel allows you to host this as a web page, and you could just have a URL link and send it to them directly. It'd be like your project name.vercel.app. Uh, the client can open it in their browser, see it. It's probably mobile responsive, and they can print it themselves if they want to. I don't usually do this. I prefer sending a PDF. It feels more polished or more final. But if you are doing a lot of proposals and you want to iterate faster, having a live URL could be useful. Now, let me zoom out a bit. Um, there's this pressure right now, as I was saying, to automate everything, to build agents that run your whole business, to connect 17 tools together and never touch anything yourself. I don't buy that. Some things should be automated, some things shouldn't. The proposal isn't the sale. The call is the sale. The relationship is the sale. The proposal is just documentation. It's proof that I listened, that I understood, that I have a plan. AI helps me document faster. It doesn't help me listen better. It doesn't help me build trust. That's still on me. And honestly, that's the part I'm good at. That's the part I want to keep doing. So I use AI for the tedious stuff, the formatting, the rewriting, the make this sound professional. And I stay in the loop for the stuff that matters. So the judgment, the personalization, the does this feel right? And I think that's the balance. Finally, if you want this template, feel free to go ahead to lemonbrand.io. You can find the proposal. So can go here and you can find the template, click here, and you can absolutely get it. The GitHub repo has the full code. You can download it, you can run it, you can customize it, you can make it yours. I don't care what you do with it. If you want to change the colors, go ahead and change the colors. Want to add more pages? Add pages. Want to rip out everything and just keep the structure? Go for it. It's a starting point. It's not a finished product. And look, if you're currently spending 2 hours making proposals, you don't have to do that anymore. This is maybe 15 minutes of setup and then 5 to 10 minutes per proposal after that. That's hours of your life back every month. And use that time for something better. Go on a walk, call a friend, make more sales. Stop doing the tedious stuff the hard way. All right, links in the description. Go grab it and see you next time.